Well, when I boot up my favorite video game, that's about the last message I want to see on the screen. Hi, I'm Staten. This is Let's Play Live a Live, the Robot Chapter, Part 10. Specifically, this is the boss fight, and the only fight in this chapter. It took me a while to figure out how to beat this guy. Actually, this video is edited down for about an hour and a half of footage of me wandering around this arena trying to figure out how to hurt this boss. So anyway, as you can see here, I'm just, at this point, dealing out, trying to figure out what my different attacks do. I figured out that this attack powers my guy up a little bit, so I'm using it a few times before I start using other things. Try this research ability. It's your standard, generic Final Fantasy scan power. Figure out how many hit points the guy has. Damages him a little bit, and debuffs the guys. Use it on the main boss to figure out only 448 hit points. Now you'd think that wouldn't be too tough to deal with, but every time this guy gets injured, no, the counterattack's what you have to worry about. Every time he's injured, all those little drone units surrounding him counter by healing. At least one of them does. Yeah, see, there we go. So I start trying to figure out what attack's going to work on these guys. Bad thing about this fight is normally in combat in this game, you can see where your attacks, what possible places you can place your attacks on the board. There's my first edit. But in the case of this particular fight, the background matches the color. The background you're fighting on matches the color pretty well, so it's really hard to tell. It actually shows up better on the recorded video than it did when I was playing through it. So it's kind of hard to feel around and figure out what angle I needed to hit something appropriately. There I am, I just figured out which attack actually hurts these guys. Yep, there's another cut. I said I learned how to edit, I didn't say I learned how to do it good. As you can see, I should have realized, I didn't realize at the time because I hadn't watched too many other video LPs. I had to figure out the most entertaining thing I can do is screw up a lot. So I didn't keep the hour and a half worth of me just wandering around this little area trying to figure out how I'm supposed to be able to hurt this thing. As you can see, we're down to the last 3 of the support pod things. And I'm desperately trying to figure out what angle I have to stand at to hit the remaining 3. He counter-scanned. He just scanned me and damaged and debuffed me. Didn't know he could do that. And then I finally figured out how to hit that one. And every time anything even gets remotely near damaging him, he counters with a healing ability. Which wouldn't be so bad, except there's another slight problem coming up, which you'll see. In case you hadn't noticed, the boss music in this game is freaking awesome. Running low on hit points there, but it's okay because I'm about to launch yet another attack. And you see that right there? That little counterattack I did is very, very important. And there we go. We got rid of all but one of the support pods now. Now this was all, there were a few edits in here, But coming up, there's going to be huge chunks taken out of this fight, where it's just nothing. Because once I destroy this last pod, I get down to the serious business of defeating the boss himself. And here I am scanning out. Scary face! He's showing us his scary face now. That happened when I scanned him. I don't know why it does that. It is freaky. See? And every time you hit him, he heals himself. That's a counterattack. Now, at first I thought if you just hit him hard enough in the right way, that eventually he would just die. You know, just eventually wear him down. But he also has, in addition to his counterattack he does automatically, he can heal as a regular attack as well. And so every once in a while he'll do that. It totally screws you up because the only attack you can do sufficient damage to him to even attempt to do that doesn't work fast enough. Here I had the brilliant idea that I could, since I realized I could move him, I could push him onto that electrical field he created earlier in the game, and so earlier in the fight. So now he'll take damage every time he does every time. But it's still not working. I believe at this point I figured out what I've got to do to beat him, and we're pretty far into it at this point, because there's only about a minute left in this particular video. You just got to stand next to him and heal yourself. And for some reason, when he just hits you, and then you counterattack, he doesn't register as having taken damage, and so that way, he won't heal himself. So as long as the only damage you do to him is via your counterattack, then he won't heal himself. And so it takes forever, because he's got 400 hit points, and as you can see, you do about 60 damage a pop there. And plus you probably spend another hour or so trying to figure out how to beat him. And eventually here, any time now, because we only got about 10 seconds left. And boss defeated. See you next video.